Monday, Valentine's Day Eve, Monday the 13th of February. Where the hell is this month going? I thought January flew by fast. Psst, nothing like February so far. Let me see, I already shared this out. There's a little PSA right there. Let's see who the hell's here this morning. I know Santee's here. I know Tony Lee's here. He's already threatened to tie his laptop to the front of a train and, let it buffer some cows off the tracks. Let me see, there's Mr. York. Good morning, guys. Justin, good to see you. Let me see here. So cold, fingers are misbehaving. It's almost 40 degrees here right now. Go figure. We're supposed to be up near 60. I think tomorrow or I think tomorrow. Tomorrow or Wednesday. Let me see here. Ready for Kalamazoo Living History Show in March. I'm ready for it. I have another one down by Indianapolis. One of the members of the Historic Society here got a hold of me a couple days ago and asked me if I wanted to go down there with him to Noblesville. It's supposed to be 3 times bigger than the one in Kalamazoo, which is good because I have a custom-made plains rifle that I got to take down there for a friend and try to sell it. Cost him $1,100 when he bought it. He's trying to sell it for $9. He can't shoot it with his back injury and stuff. His doctor said it probably wasn't advisable for him to shoot it, but it's got all the tack work on it. It's got custom made buttstock on it. The whole shebang. I mean, this is a sweet gun. And I'll be honest, if I had $1,000 to spend on a gun, it'd be hanging on my wall right now. I don't know, Justin. I'll have to get you the information on it. He's supposed to write everything down for me, so I can take it down there and try to sell it for him. Let me see who else is here. There's Skipper. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well this morning. Let me see. There is Mr. Ty. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. And there's Buck. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Absolute balmy. Oh, wait a second. Let me get back to that. Absolute balmy out west here. I don't get it. To hell with the dudes. Where's the women's? I don't think any of them are out of bed yet. I think they're trying to get a jump start on that Valentine's Day thing and hoping somebody will bring them breakfast in bed. Sadly enough, most of them in here either live alone or their husbands are already have already shot off towards work, so there's not going to be any breakfast in bed. They're going to be laying there all day long. John, I would love to buy all your stuff, dude. I was just talking about your hides the other day in one of the live streams. But since Grandma passed away, and we're trying to wrangle up money to keep the house and utilities and stuff like that. Since she passed away, and it sounds bad in itself, but that took about $1,100 out of our monthly budget. So now we're trying to figure out how to keep the house and everything going. So I would love it because I'm starting to do more school presentations and things like that, and having all those hides for the kids to touch and see and stuff like that would be. Yeah, I know she was your girl, bud. She loved it when you came over. She loved it. Grandma didn't always remember people, but she always loved company, and especially my friends when they came over because she could just hem haul around and talk dirty and just be just the ornery old thing she was. And she's definitely sorely missed. Definitely sorely missed. Maybe the bear really only interested in guns. Oh, he's got a bear. He's got a bear. He's got all kinds of hides. I mean, he has a full layout in camp, Tony. I mean, he's got hides up on sawhorses and stuff for the kids to just walk around and touch and see. And he's got an incredible setup. I have strived for 30 years to have what he has, and I'm probably never gonna have it. So, but the really cool thing about it is when you've got a better setup like John does, and you can send pictures and show pictures to the schools and stuff like that, then you're more apt to be invited in to do more school presentations because you've got a much nicer layout and stuff like that. Oh, let me see here. I'm tired. I make my wife breakfast in bed at least 4 times a week. One of the advantages of being retired. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Freaking cold. Somebody send me a buffalo coat or just a buffalo. It would kill you. It would kill you. You don't have a fence to keep it in. Your property's not big enough, and it would eat your dog for breakfast, and then it would like kill you to death. They're cute when they're brought up from calves, but yeah, you would die. You would die. Full-blown 18th century many years ago. Log cabin, trap lines, kerosene lamps, black powder guns. That's because your brother is smart and knows good living. Have guns. Are you are you are you considering getting out of camping, John? Slowing way down. Shocking. You're still a very very young man. I don't. Wow. Well, you've always been a fair person to trade with and to deal with and stuff like that. So I know as you start piecing and parting out your collection, there's going to be some very very happy people. Yeah, Tony York is always looking for guns, John. He is the gun master, and when it comes to guns, I'll always go to Tony to learn things about guns and hell his grandbabies have guns already. They can't that's half the size of them. So so when they get old enough to shoot, they got their own guns to shoot already. Real sorry, girl. I'm gonna have to bail out on you all today. Feel a bit iffy. Have a great day. All right, Tony Lee. You take care of yourself, bud. You take care of yourself. Get to feeling better, and we'll catch you later. Give your sweetie my love and stuff. I miss wearing my Civil War uniform, having fun in the summer. I put on my Civil War stuff in the winter and wear it around. That way I don't sweat my butt off when I'm doing it. I've had my captain's coat on quite a few times this winter. Uh, I know the thumbnail for today's video was um, a little rough and everything. I got up this morning and I fully intended to make the thumbnail last night and post it, and I dozed off and completely forgot about it, and then woke up this morning and forgot that I forgot. I got on here, started getting everything set up, and it's like, holy crap, I haven't even got a thumbnail made for today. So I threw it together real quick. But I mean, as you guys have noticed in some of the videos recently, and you'll see here in some of the upcoming videos, me and Harry, we kind of have this thing going now about picking on each other. Um, that's why I decided to go with there can be only one host. So after that, once the fight is settled, somebody is going to be host and somebody is going to be co-host. So 30 ain't that many. No, no, 30's not. Shoot, my dad survived with only 6 guns in the gun cabinet when I was growing up. How do I know that I forgot what I forgot, or forgot that I forgot what I forgot? Um, when I sat down with the wife last night and had full intention of making a thumbnail, but then her and I started talking, and then after we talked, we started watching TV, and I fell asleep. And then I got up this morning and logged on and realized, oh crap, I forgot. And, you know, that's how. That's how. Because I'm an old furry bastard and I don't remember things. That's why. That's how I forget that I forget. Good morning, Jan. By the way, I'm sitting here rattling on and completely forgot to say good morning to you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Happy Valentine's Day Eve. Of course, tomorrow I got a video coming out on the true history of Valentine's Day from a modern standpoint. You know, it's so easy to put up a bunch of pictures and things like that and say this is this person, this is this person, this is what happened, this is a tick 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 tick. It's more fun to find a group of actors or reenactors that reenact it in a more modern standpoint, with the old story being the overlay. Um, hey Drew, do you want to go to Des Moines Courthouse Friday for me so I don't have to see Hen House? Nope, I sure don't. I sure don't, because to be honest, knowing what I know about Hen House, number one, she's going to start flirting. Number two, she's going to try to win me over. And number three, I'm going to catch a disease and die. So no, nope, nope, nope. Um, all my guns were bought for a purpose besides two, I think. Um, you're going to Napanee, Indiana. Yes, I am planning on it. It just, well, I mean, it depends on the finances. Um, It depends on the finances. But right now, as of right now, yes, I absolutely plan on being at as many reenactments and encampments this year as I can. Um, to film, to advertise, to have some fun, to relax, to get out. I finally don't have to find a sitter anymore for any weekends I want to get away, and that's 7 years of built up, missed, stressed events and stuff. So yes, if I can, I will be. Um, Smith and Wesson 29, hand rifle, and 223. That's good, Jan. It's good to see you too. I had four other 44 mag guns, including the 629. So the 29 was specifically for Dirty Harry. A handy rifle, maybe to great grandkids on centerfire. She could accidentally, purposely run into. Oh no, there wouldn't be no accident to it. I can tell you that right now. Um, it would be on purpose. It would be on purpose. Jan, that is in the works for this year. I was just talking to Mark yesterday about getting our season fired up. Of course, Lisa had her surgery. She's doing better. Yesterday was her birthday. Um, Spring's coming, so hopefully there'll be more overnights. There'll be more long distance investigations. Of course, Lisa's still got her kids she has to worry about through the week, getting them ready for school and stuff. So, but there is stuff in the works. So, good morning, Ian. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. So, what do you guys think about these unidentified cylindrical small car shaped objects? I just got done watching a news brief. Hey, Deb, good to see you. Um, I just got done watching a news thing probably 25 minutes ago, out of Washington, or I'm sorry, out of Charlotte. Um, but they were talking to a reporter in Washington. And I guess the Pentagon is staying very hush hush right now. Um, the House of Representatives is starting to flip. They want it. They want information. They want to know what's going on. And somebody actually said the reporter said that it was quoted at the Pentagon that they are not ruling out extraterrestrial intelligence. They cannot identify these cylinders. They cannot identify how their guidance system. They cannot identify anything right now. But these are all cylindrical objects, and the one well, number one, they were wondering how these things. They were wondering last week, Friday, how this thing showed up in that location, but didn't show up on radar or anyplace else. NORAD tracks the airspace over Canada and the U.S. So these things are completely invisible until they finally show up, and they intercept them, they shoot them down. The one over Canada, same thing. It blipped in, then it blipped out, then it blipped back in, then it blipped back out. The one that was shot down over Lake Huron yesterday was seen over Montana 3 days ago, 2 days ago. and it showed up, and as they sent the jets to intercept and ID it, it faded out. So they disregarded it as a radar anomaly. The planes couldn't find anything. Then it showed up over Wisconsin, and they launched planes from, I guess, Great Lakes Naval Base, and they couldn't find anything. And then it vanished again on the radar. So they ruled it as a radar anomaly. Then all of a sudden this thing pops up over Lake Huron, and they get it. So, and it's really funny because my wife does not believe in aliens. But even she said, looks like you were right, honey. Looks like you were right. We're getting invaded. They're trying to gather, they're trying to observe as much as they can. I'm like, wait, what? Did you just acknowledge the possibility of a more intelligent life out there? The quote, some people just need killing. I don't recall the movie, but I love the quote. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, overnight in South Bend. That's going to be very interesting, Ian. Very interesting. Remember Mad Magazine, Spy versus Spy? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a distraction. It's a trap. Oh wait, no, wrong movie. Still looking for Derby and Yukon. I did not acknowledge anything. That is the fucking point. Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that's really spooky about it is the fact that, you know, U.S. and Canadian armed forces pilots that are seeing these things can't identify them. They have no clue. And we had a Pentagon official on the news Saturday, I think it was, that said that, we have our spy satellites. They sit 40 miles, 50 miles above the Earth's surface, just rotating around, just orbiting. And we know everything they're doing a day before they do it. We know when they're moving missiles from location to location. We know, all this skunk about Korea launching a missile here a year or two ago. We knew they were moving a missile to the location that they shot it from 2 days before they shot it from it. So, we know all that. So why, they can't identify these things. These pilots are getting visuals on these things, and they can't identify them. They can't identify a propulsion system. They can't identify a guidance system. They can't identify anything on these things. They can't identify a design. Nothing. So, alien technology. Are they truly unmanned, or are they so small they're assuming they're unmanned? Paint parts of your aircraft sky blue. We all have spies. Morning, fish. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. What is a pilot going 1,500 miles per hour going to see? All satellites are spy. You'd be amazed. Well, and see, that's just it. The radar and stuff in the new jet airplanes are so detailed. I mean, You remember the old show Battlestar Galactica, when they'd be flying into battle and they would get these little triangles on their screen moving towards them, and they'd hit a couple buttons, and down on a lower screen you'd have a full detailed design of the ship pop up, where they could see what type of ship it was, its dimensions and design. That's a lot like our new equipment is in the new jet airplanes, except you don't got to push a couple buttons. When you lock on to that enemy aircraft, it shows it all on a side screen. I'm rarely amazed by anything. I'm I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Not one bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Chinese. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Russian. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a New Zealander. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it was some kind of extraterrestrial intelligence. I'm kind of like Tony. I just really honestly don't get surprised. Government control what we hear, see on media. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, and that's why the House of Representatives and stuff and Congress are getting very crappified about it, because the Pentagon is not, a DOD is not releasing any information. Take care. Oh, breakfast, school time, Drew. Get time later. Hit me up. I'll punch you right in your pee hole, dude. Right in your karzungas. Yeah, I hit you up, bud. I'm working on a really, really big video right now. I've been working on it for 2 days, getting backdrops and getting a lot of pre-editing done. I mean, it's going to be another one of those videos, that's basically a mini TV show. So there's going to be a lot of information in it, a lot of information. But yeah, I'll tap you later. Lower form of life on Earth has stealth technology. Yeah, Eddie Torres, extra testicle. I haven't seen this much excitement since I was a kid, when we filled up a bunch of plastic bags with helium, attached tinfoil to them, and let them go. Yeah, I mean, you really want to screw with some people. Um, just get a bunch of those, round cardboard storage containers, and put helium balloons inside them, and then just tape the ends closed, wrap the whole thing with aluminum foil, and set them off. Set off like 30 of them. As they go floating across the sky, all of a sudden, all you see are jets trying to figure out what the hell they are. It's a little excitement, man. I mean, Canada don't see a lot of excitement. I mean, aliens fly over Canada, they say, a tree, a tree, a moose, a elk, a tree. Brian Adams' house. Hell, the Japs sent balloon bombs over here in World War II. They did. But here's the thing. The Pentagon has come forward just enough to say these are not balloons. And that's all they've said. These are not balloons. Most of the aliens in Canada are sitting in Parliament. I can't. I don't even know what to say to that. Justin Trudeau is an alien. Now, I don't get to see Justin Trudeau on the news very much, so please tell me, does he always look like that? I mean, does he always look like he's not sure what he's talking about and he's kind of scared to say anything wrong? I mean, I was sitting there watching him while he was talking about that unidentified object and, working Canadian and American armed forces working together to take it down and stuff. And he looked like he almost looked like there was, he had that look on his face like there was top secret government agents standing off camera looking at him going, he's sitting there and he's talking and he's got this look on his face. So it's like, I, I, I don't know. I've always been real good at reading body language, and he just kind of struck me as unsure and slightly frightened when he was talking. So I wasn't sure if he's always looked like that or not. Kind of like that look on your face when you got to take a real good poop, but you can't because you're constipated. So that's kind of that unsure, frightened look. Probably shooting down Elon's Starlink stuff. Oh, believe me, he'd probably have spoke up by now. He's in his own world. He's totally lost touch with the Canadian public and thinks his version of freedom is the only version. He's lost touch and has to go. Wow. Spy on. Hey, Chris, good to see you, bud. Spy on Canada. Are they trying to send over another Trojan moose? He's a moose. Every little bit helps. Thank you, Jan. But Templar, good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well today. Trojan moose. He smoked a joint. That's that look. He's been driving down into Michigan and buying his shit, hadn't he? That's that look. He smoked, couple three Hooters and like, are they gonna find out? He smokes too much catnip. I asked my member of parliament how he could put up with Trudeau's lack of response and question. Had pneumonia the last 3 weeks, just couldn't be asked to watch anything. I'm glad you're feeling better, Chris. I'm glad you're feeling better, man. That pneumonia has been making its rounds around the country. It don't matter what your climate is, nothing. It don't matter what the temperatures have been. People are seriously getting kicked in the butt by that thing. See, that was, truth be known, that was one of the things that took Grandma was, she had the one lung that was working because, well, nobody knew she had cancer in the other lung, but she had the one lung that was working, but the doctor said that it was 1/3 collapsed and full of pneumonia. And she had really showed no signs of having the pneumonia till the wife took her to the doctor, and they 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 checked her out, and they found out that she had the one lung with pneumonia that was partially collapsed. So if it wasn't for the fact that we knew that she was going to go, they definitely wanted to keep her in the hospital to treat her for the pneumonia. But when they found out the other lung was completely gone, they just, my wife said, nope, we're taking her home. Because the doctor flat out said at her age, with that lung collapsed and everything, she probably wasn't going to survive it. And so the wife made the decision to bring her home and let her go here in her and Grandpa's house where she wanted to be at. So, but yeah, that you're lucky, man. I'm glad that you're okay. I'm glad you're healthy again, and you made it through. It's been an ass kicker this year. He told me I answered my own question period, and not answer period. Yeah, starting to come together in Illinois. 90% country said no way. Are we going to support gun banning? I'm kind of mad at Illinois right now anyway. I got a notification from Facebook last night that which I've got basically a triple guard on my Facebook. Um, but I got a notification last night that somebody tried to access my Facebook from Illinois, and it was a um, device that has never logged on to my Facebook before, from a location that's never logged on my Facebook before. See, I've got device notification, I've got a device lock, I've got a location lock, and I have got um, a very, very complex passcode. So, uh, yeah, I think it was probably Sean that tried to log on to my Facebook from Illinois last night. So, morning, Sean. But I had to change my passcode again, and now it's now my passcode is actually a binary code. So, and it's like 20 digits long. So they're going to be working for a long time to if they try to break this one. I get emails all the time saying most are from Russia. Um, I heard Illinois. I always remind myself that grief is the price we pay for loving someone. As I've gotten older, it's been tough seeing many loved ones go. Now I'm at the top of the pyramid. Enjoy life. Exactly. And see, that's something I learned back in 2016 when I got hit with the diabetic shock, and the coma, and dying on my wife of 10 days, and stuff like that. I thought I was healthy because it came on gradually, so I just figured it was feelings I was getting as I aged. And then all of a sudden it hit that plateau and dropped. And I take a drink of beer and I get sicker than a dog. They have to, I fall asleep at the beach. They, wake me up when 4th of July celebration's over. I go to the car, get in the car, I feel fine, come home, feel fine the rest of the day, have dinner with the wife and daughter, grandma, feel great, wake up the next morning and can't get out of bed. The wife tried to help me to the car. She couldn't. She had to call the EMTs. They came, rolled me out of here on a gurney. The wife jumped in the ambulance with me. We went to the hospital in 12 miles. In 12 miles I passed, or 9 miles I passed out. And in the half-hour trip between there and the big hospital in Kalamazoo, just as we pulled in the ER in Kalamazoo, I flatlined the first time. They brought me back. 5 minutes later, I flatlined a second time. They brought me back, and within 7 minutes, my lungs started failing, and they induced the coma. That's when I learned you never know. Do everything you can possibly do while you can do it, because you never know what day you're going to wake up and can't do it anymore. Don't make any sense to float over us. We're an open book. Yeah. Yeah. Funny part is, they say the Samsung brand new phone. Never had any sign of anything with diabetes till the doc said I had it. I never knew. I never knew. When I came out of the coma, the doctor flat out looked at me. When I was coherent enough, they got me in my room. I was still in intensive care, but as soon as I come out of the coma and I was able to drink a little something, the doctor flat out looked at me and said, "Dude, I have put people in the ground with lower numbers than you had when you came in here." He goes, at your age, I don't know how the hell you survived. I don't. I have no clue. Because I have put dudes in the ground 200 points lower than what you was. But my blood sugar was 860. Had no clue. Didn't know. So, hey, there's Chris. Yeah, your friendship, or your friend request just popped up, bud. I will accept it after the live stream's over. Maybe the way things are going on around the world, chance of nukes, aliens have decided it's time to step up and analyze us closer and maybe intervene. Yeah, but if we keep shooting them down, they're probably going to get a little pissed at us. Sugar crashes and stuff are responses to insulin treatments. I mean, I know I didn't take care of myself, but I lived like so many other people lived. I didn't know that I was doing harm to myself. There's never been a diabetic in my family. I've never experienced it. So I was harming myself and didn't realize I was harming myself. But now I know. I'm eating a lot less. I'm still losing weight. Of course, this don't help any, but and I am not sitting down and eating an entire bag of Reese cups while I'm watching a movie. I have moved on to Chex Mix. I have moved on to Cheerios. I have moved on to all kinds of much healthier snacks. Now, don't get me wrong, once in a while when Oreos go on sale, I'll buy a bag of Oreos, but they last me for a week and a half. I'll sit down, eat 4 or 5 Oreos, close the bag back up, and I'm happy. Now the wife actually, um, she made spinach dip last night, and I have got these little pita chips that I eat with the spinach dip and everything, and that spinach dip could be a meal in itself. You would think the aliens would have something a bit better than Kevlar. And see, Tony, I would think that too, that I still eat far too much sugar. But my doctor has repeatedly told me, my dietitian has repeatedly told me, don't pay attention to the sugar, pay attention to the carbohydrates, because the sugar is already figured in to a carbohydrate count. So watch your carbs, don't watch your sugar. And when it says, like with my little grasshopper Oreos, or my peanut butter Oreos, it actually says this is the amount you can have. This is a serving, and I stop at that. I mean, I used to have a big bowl of ice cream at night, like my dad does still today. At God, how old is Dad? He was born in Dad's 40. Dad is 82, and still to this day he'll have 3 or 4 scoops of ice cream in a bowl, and he'll put bananas in there with it, and he'll put chocolate syrup on it, and make himself a nanner split. And you know the ice cream that we buy, which we buy a generic ice cream, it has a much lower sugar and a much lower carb count than like Breyers or Ben and Jerry's or stuff like that. It says I can have 2 scoops of ice cream, and that's it. And that's what I stick to, is 2 scoops of ice cream. Nothing on it. No sprinkles, no chocolate, no caramel, no nothing. Bananas, very, very bad. A diabetic should only eat a half a banana at a serving. Blueberries, a palm, not a handful, a palm full of blueberries. I'm a blueberry fanatic, man. If I could grow blueberries and make blueberry cobbler, blueberry pie, blueberry cake, blueberry milkshakes, I would do it. Not anymore. I eat 5 or 6 blueberries, and that's it. And see, um, what you said right there about the Chex Mix and the Cheerios. This is where I don't like um, dietitians these days, because they give me this booklet that had a diabetic booklet, and it had Chex and Cheerios in there as foods a diabetic could eat. Sent you a pic. Yeah, it popped up, Chris. It popped up. So by that doctor's advice, you should eat Hershey's candy bars and bacon. Bacon does not have any carbs in it. Bacon does not have any carbs in it. They said the only thing I have to worry about with bacon is the grease, and we drain our grease. There's very, very little grease in our bacon. Um, but Hershey bars, I will, if I get lucky enough, they come out with some new Hershey bar or something like that. My wife will buy me one, and I'll break 2 little squares off the end, and that's all I eat of it. I'm not fracking with my health anymore. It's I stay completely away from the concept of death. Because believe me, guys, everybody asked me when I started doing this, and people found out that I had died and I was on other people's live streams and stuff talking about it. They asked me, what did you see? And I flat out told them the truth. I seen black. I seen cold. I seen black, and I heard the sound of a breeze. And that's it. I don't want to live in total darkness. I'm not a bat. To myself, we've tried growing blueberries. They didn't like our weather and died. Bacon is keto friendly. So are pork rinds. No carbs. Yeah, pork rinds have no carbs. That's another one of my big snacky things is pork rinds. Dietitian said, thought all that was safe is lean meat and lettuce. Hey, John, good to see you. Oh, yeah, I got a book. I got a 12-page book, man. Give me all the things I could eat, all the things I should stay away from. My aunt has been a dietitian for over 50 years. They have their own opinions. They don't agree on anything. Obviously. I died as a newborn. I don't recall nothing. Blip. I hope you guys have got some really cool plans for Valentine's Day. Those of you that have a significant other you've been with for a while, those of you that are newly significated, and those of you that are hunting down a significant. I hope you got some really cool plans for tomorrow. With me taking care of Grandma for the last 7 years of Steph and my marriage, we have never got to go out and celebrate Valentine's Day. And, we'd really like to go and do something tomorrow, but, I don't even have the finances for a card. So, let alone, a teddy bear or something like that. So, I'm trying to figure out what we can do together. I plan to stay away from her as much as possible. Oh, God. I hope she's not watching. She's going to come home from work tonight, and she's going to say, stay away, huh? Yeah, well, guess what? I made plans, Bucky. Yeah, the best holiday is the absolute quietest. I actually done that a few years ago, Tony. Since what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Um, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. Um, Last year, I got um, I had got a decent donation right before Valentine's Day. So, I was able to grab her a little stuffed puppy dog thing holding this great big heart and, a card and a couple other things. But a couple years ago, I made her this huge card. I mean, this thing was like 2 foot tall and a foot wide. And, well, I don't have a big selection of pins. Um, that's my pin collection. Um, so there wasn't a lot of collars on it. It wasn't really pretty, but it was a big card and it had a lot of sentiment in it and stuff. So I need to one of these days get one of those large Sharpie collections where I can actually get back into my artwork a little bit and stuff like that. I guess from what my mom tells me, I used to be a hell of an artist. So, you know, maybe it's laying in there latent somewhere. Just I just haven't utilized it in many, many years. Just another day. And a lot of people choose to make it, just another day. But so far this year, I've not been able to do anything for Christmas. I haven't been able to do anything for her birthday on January 15th. I'd like to, I'd like to do something for her on Valentine's Day because she always does something for me. So Father's Day, my birthday, Christmas. So, you know, I just try to repay it a little bit. No cars, handmade, came from the heart, best kind of gift. I agree. Just like the holidays, just a cash grab. But see, that's just it. Um, though, like most young girls, when they get married the first time, they have this envisioning in their head of what their marriage is going to be like. And though she grew up having that in her head, she is happy with me going to a resale shop and finding a little stuffed animal, or um, going to Dollar General and buying a card or something like that. She doesn't like these. She's not big on these expensive gifts and things like that. I don't get into the cash grab thing. I never have. Hey, Danny. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good. Do what is right for you. No one else is walking in your shoes. Um, Not into the love day as next day. Lost my son, so I don't do it anymore. Understandable. Understandable. Hope you're having a good day, Danny. The gift my missus brags about, the hand carved elephant caricature. See, now that's really cool. I like I like that idea. Making cute little things and stuff like that. My wife has always been big on llamas and baby seals. And I would love to be able to carve something for her like that. I don't even have the tools to do something like that. I've got plenty of little blocks of wood and everything laying out in the shed from cutting tent poles in the past and stuff like that. But yeah, I would love to be able to carve. That would be that would be wonderful. And much like your wife, that would be something she bragged about. Was he made this with his own bare hands? He created this for me. So, 29 years. 29 years. Oh, my grandfather used to sit and whittle. My grandfather was a whittling fool. I don't know how many pipe stems he used to make with little buck knife in his pocket. But whenever he'd go out and buy a new pipe or something like that, if he didn't like the stem on it, he would he'd sit down, he'd make a new pipe stem. I do mine with a standard Barlow. I don't have my pocket knife in here. Mine's in pretty rough shape. Mine's in pretty rough shape. It's probably 50 years old. It was my grandpa's, and then when he died, as a matter of fact, it's older than 50 years old. No, it isn't. My grandfather died in '83. My dad got the knife, and then I got it in 2010. Yeah, like about 2010. It looks sad. I whittled too much. Now I'm blind and have hairy palms. No, that's diddled, not whittled. That's diddled. You diddled too much. Now you're blind and have hairy palms. I've used a tiny three-blade Stockman bit, being a cheapo. I got too loose. FYI, those Rough Rider knives are good knives for cheap. Huh. Take that wood and make her a planter. She can grow. No, she can't. I'm not even going to finish that. I'm not even going to finish that. She tried to grow herbs following instructions here just a few months ago. We now have a window seal in the living room or in the kitchen above the sink full of little pots and potting soil and nothing in them. Just all of a sudden, these things grew. She took care of them for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden, everything died within a week. Her green thumb is as seasonal as a lot of plants are. She'll get something to sprout. She'll get real proud of it. Then all of a sudden, it wilts and dies. Clearly better than Schrade and Old Timer. I've had an Old Timer before. Um, it had that little, artificial wood grain on the outside of the body of the knife and everything. And I finally quit carrying it when all the wood had fallen off of it, and it was very uncomfortable in the palm of my hand. I went to buy some camo pants, but couldn't find any. When it comes to camo pants and stuff like that, man, I go to Army surplus places and buy used. I always go and buy used. I ain't paying the price for new stuff. The last time I bought new specialty pants like that is when I worked security, and I went to a police supply store in South Bend, right down by the college. and I got a pair of pants here that's got Kevlar weaving in them. You sit and hold the pants up. There's a bunch of little like quarter-inch by quarter-inch squares all over them. It's got Kevlar threading going down through them, and yeah, I paid like $65 for those pants. But I got two pair of those, $130, and that's the last time I ever went out and bought specialty pants. My tack boots are the same way. You know, they've got the Kevlar arch and stuff in them and everything because I was on my feet 12 hours a night. You know, 8 o'clock at night till 8 o'clock in the morning, I was up walking. And the place I worked at was the old Studebaker warehouses out on the south end of South Bend by Ireland Road. I'm sure you know where it's at, fishing, because you grew up in South Bend. But they have these great big, you know, $500,000 electrical units and stuff stored out there in this warehouse. So I had to go through and, you know, visually inspect each one that was out there, continuously go around, check the property, check the inside of the warehouse, up on the catwalk. So I'm up and down iron steps all night long, and yeah, I had to get the stuff to wear amber glasses. Yeah, I got some. If you don't have any fish, I've got a pair of them right here. And somewhere in this mess, I've got a pair of shooting glasses too, amber shooting glasses. So I believe fish, man, camo kept them hidden from sight. Oh, I'm slow. What can I say? I have a pocket knife, wood sides. One side cracked and fell off. Was my favorite knife, and carried it every day. I did end up fixing and replacing. Cool. Chippewa. But now it sits in the collection because I don't want to ruin the wood. Morning, dog. Good to see you, bud. Hope your live stream went good this morning. The king of live streams right there, guys. He's always got a full house in the morning. Blue blockers. Yep. I think that's what mine are, blue blockers. Good to be seen. Smart ass. Well, you know, it's kind of how I feel. It's good to be seen. But when I see anybody, I only see them out of one eye. So, you know, officially now with me, everything is half-ass. I only see out of one eye half-ass. You know, it's just part of it. Just part of it. Part of getting older. My daughter got her hair cut. She was tired of dealing with her hair that had never been actually cut. It had been trimmed, but, you know, 14 years old, never had a haircut, and that shit is gone. It is all the way up to here. It was like down to here, and she got it butched. Yep, she sure. And you're right, dog. Getting old sucks ass. But yeah, Jan, she got tired of dealing with her bangs in her face and stuff like that, and you know, she got tired of the dealing with it. 'Cause, I mean, she's got that. For those of you that don't know, my daughter's mixed. My stepdaughter, my daughter, um, is mixed. So she had like chocolate brown hair, but it had the African American kink to it. And it was just, it was to that point that if her and her mom didn't go out and spend, well, I should say her, if Steph didn't go out and spend like mondo money on these special treatments and oils and stuff like that, for her hair, you couldn't get a brush through it. You couldn't get a comb through it. You couldn't get nothing through it. And if she happened to go out in the rain, if it was raining, um, someday when she goes to school or something like that, that stuff went, and she just got completely tired of it. So she got tired of wearing it around in a tight bun and stuff on the back of her head, and yeah, she told her mom, she goes, "I want it gone. I want it gone." So it's gone. It only comes off her head about that far now. I got all sorts of kink, but that's a different story. Yep, Danny is one of the very few people I've ever met that actually took the Shades of Grey movies as an instruction manual. The only person I ever seen that went to see 50 Shades of Grey in the theater with his wife and said, "We got that. We got that." Oh, what's that? I've never seen one of those before. We got to get one of those. So I got tired of long hair, so from now on, I get bikini wax. Takes care. Yeah, kind of reminds me of that scene out of Scary Movie when they're doing the high school beauty contest, and that one girl comes up and she's got these long braided cornrows coming off her head, and then you look at the bottom of her bikini in the front, and she's got these braided cornrows coming out of her bikini bottom. Yeah, I know, mental image, right? Mental imagery. Oh, how ye us. Ah, yummy, yummy. Ah, come on, baby, light my fire. I wrote 50 Shades More, but it was too much for the public. They had to go in and do a rewriting. I did security for about 5 years. It was for a computer company that maintained NORAD computers and other government contracts. So, what was early test system for the laser weapon? Probably shouldn't have told us that on a public forum, but that that just goes to prove that the memory wipe didn't take effect. So now they're going to be coming for you. You were not supposed to remember any of that. Give me a sexy woman who smokes with big tits and well, how does she smoke with her boobs, dude? I mean, I've heard of people, taking a draw through their ear and blowing smoke out, or taking a draw up their nose and blowing smoke out. How do you smoke with your boobs? You just like put the cigar in there and blow smoke out? I mean, what the hell kind of magic trick is that? And where do you find a woman that can smoke with her boobs? PB and homemade bread. I love to bake bread. I don't think there's anything that smells better coming out of an oven than homemade bread. Whether it's rye or it's sourdough or wheat or whatever it is, it always smells so good coming out. For me to know and you to find out. Um, Not a lot, Tony. We went from talking about knives to talking about chicks that can smoke with their boobies. Uh, I don't know how, but we slowly, moved into it. We buy the frozen loaves from Walmart. Oh, cool. Cool. Natural progression of conversation. Yeah, around here, it's about half price of a pre-baked loaf. Oh, wow. Very cool. It was a very, very long time ago. I see nothing, hear nothing, and say nothing. Clause has expired. Oh, okay, there you go. So you're safe now. That's good. Hey, Danny, when are we going to start the podcast back up, man? I've been really missing that. I like having my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday free. Which is why I really, really try to do the live streams on Monday and Friday. That way I can work on videos on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Sunday. And, but doing that 2 hours on Wednesday night, I got really used to that. And I really miss it. Then again, me and you work so well together. I miss kicking back and the doing the thing with you. When we can't get together to do an investigation, it's nice kicking back with you on a Wednesday night and talking to somebody else. Starts next week. I'm there, dude. Which is really cool because now part of her, changing of position at work, my starting Wednesday night, well, officially starting today, um, my wife's days off changed from Tuesday and Wednesday to Monday and Tuesday, and she's no longer going to be going in at 9:30 or 8:30 in the morning. She now does not go in till 6 o'clock at night and works till 2 o'clock in the morning. So she'll leave home at 5:30 and won't get home till about 2:30. So that frees all my evenings up now. Pre-record them and I'll put them up. Cool beans. Cool beans. Just going to ask if you wanted to do Wednesday morning something. You know I'm good, Tony. I'll do it with you, bud. Wednesday nights, you, me, and Crystal. Cool. I miss Crystal too. She's such a sweetheart. Supposed to be able to stream through YouTube this afternoon. Yeah, I've really got to look into that new feature that YouTube's got, that stream together thing. I've really got to look into that and see how that works. Um, I have no clue. I mean, I guess you set up the live stream and then through this new feature, it links the two different channels together and you stream on one screen. I don't know. I have no clue how it works. I still have not seen anything released because normally when YouTube starts some new feature, all these big creators go on there and they review it, they check it out, they make a video about it, explain how it works. I've not seen anything on the stream together feature that they started here a month or 2 months ago. I set up yesterday. I'm planning to check it out later this afternoon. Wish I could stream or record audio, but my PC won't let me use my microphone anymore. And you know, it's really weird, but this mic right here on the gaffer that I have is the only mic that I can use. My little mic that I hook up to my camera when I'm doing my green screen work and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys noticed, and I'm sure you did because the wife noticed. She thought I was putting it in there on purpose. But I would get that every minute or so for the first 3 or 4 minutes. When I started recording, then it stopped. No clue what caused it, but I use strictly the mic on my recording device now. I don't plug any exterior mic into it. But this mic here is the only one I've got in the studio now that actually works, and it don't want to work all the time. Sometimes people say they can't hear me, so I unplug it, plug it back in. It works just fine. No clue. Thursday nights, Paranormal Now show. Other shows will be Fear of the Mind Radio, Haunted Mitten, What Goes Bump in the Night, and Around the Mitten. That's cool. Avoid arguments about the toilet seat. Use the sink. Yep, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right, because if I used the sink more, I wouldn't hear, could you please clean the toilet today? Why? I've not used it. I poop in the driveway and I pee in the sink. I mean, I don't use the toilet anymore. tell the cat to quit getting up there and leaking everywhere. Doesn't matter the mic, just doesn't recognize them or says used by another device. And see, Deb, that's the issue. I have used that little mic on investigations. I have used it recording here in the house. I have used it recording out here in the driveway and never had an issue until last summer. And just all of a sudden, whenever I'd record, you'd hear for the first few minutes of a recording, then it would just stop. So I don't know if it's the mic going out. I don't know if it's just not recognizing it for the first few minutes or what the deal is. It just seems. I now see. I've thought about using the litter box. But the face that Ralph gives me when I squat over that litter box, and I've actually, just to screw with him before. I've it's embarrassing to say, but you know, for those of you that know my relationship with Ralphie, he is my emotional support cat, and he's like my best friend, and he I seen him. I cleaned the litter box one day, and he was sitting right there at the bathroom door waiting on me to get it clean so he could use it. And the second I got the litter put in and got it all smoothed out and everything, he started to walk towards it, and I jumped in front of it real quick, and I just bent down over it. And he sat there and looked at me for like 10 seconds, then just turned around and walked out of the room. I started calling his name, and he just kept walking. And the second that I got up, I walked out. I mean, it was just a couple seconds later, I walked out of the bathroom. And he turned around, walked back in the bathroom, and stood outside the litter box and just stared at it, trying to find out if I had actually used the bathroom in his litter box or not. When he realized I hadn't, he jumped in there and took care of his business. But he seemed genuinely pissed at me because he thought I pooped in his litter box. And then he had to go in and examine it to see. Dear Lord, there is a bug in your software. It's called Monday. Please fix it. Wouldn't surprise me none. Just get an outhouse. Will go good with your living history theme. Take something for it. Gas release. Sound will go away. I've actually thought about building an outhouse. If I ever get my little cabin built, I plan on building an outhouse next to it, just for the giggles of it. So, hey Kyle, good morning. Love you too, Danny. You take care, man. Enjoy your workout. And hey, congratulations, bud, on recovering so well from the surgery on your old brain pan, and getting yourself in healthier, better shape. Congratulations. It's awesome, dude. I'm so proud of you for that. We're considering an outhouse at the cabin. Don't take life too seriously. You won't get out alive. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Seeing it was -10 right before Christmas, that kind of makes me rethink the outhouse idea. Well, they make those little heater things that you can like hang pointing down at the seat and everything. And I mean, you can run it into your generator, you can run it into your power unit in the house, whatever. That way your outhouse is always heated. Or better yet, if you put your little switch on there, you can kick it on about a half hour before you think you're going to be going out there and using it, and just let it heat for a while. That way it's nice and toasty when you go out there. If you want to spurge for outhouse, you can buy heated seats. There you go. There you go. Heated seats are always nice. I'm going to take a run to my in-house real quick. You guys, talk real nice amongst yourselves for a second. I got to talk to a man about a horse and watch him pee. I'll be right back. Daughter still ain't learned that you can't leave toilet paper sitting on the edge of the bathtub with cats in your house. They see that, they think, ha ha, my favorite toy in the world. And when you wake up in the morning, you got a half a roll of toilet paper spread out across the living room floor, shredded so you can't use it. Kids. Can't live with them, can't beat them and bury them with the same shovel. Had my horse with my second trainer. All we had was outhouse. Not fun. Outhouse makes for a very cold tushy in January. I don't care where you live at. Yep, I'm off to use the sink. I'm only here for the free food. I'm right there with you, bud. I'm right there with you. Outhouses were still somewhat common when I was a kid. And Tony, it's really funny that you say that because when I was real little, my great grandmother was still alive, the one from Ireland. Um, the house that they lived in Fairmount, Indiana, was the one that my aunt raided when my great aunt, great grandma's daughter, my grandma's daughter, our grandma's mom, passed away, and they still had the outhouse out between the house and the barn. And when us kids were little, we would still, when we were out there playing or picking apples or whatever the case may be, we still ran and used the old outhouse. And so that, it's really funny because I too, though they weren't common, I too used the outhouse when I was little. So it was, matter of fact, I think the outhouse still sits, but the hole's been filled in. But whenever they paint the barn and the house and everything, they still paint. At least last time I was there, they still paint the outhouse, um, and it's got the little moon cutting the door. And no, it didn't. It had a star. It had a star cutting the door. That's what it was. That's what was so funny about it. That's a challenge. Helps thigh hand coordination. Better than a tube and a 50-gallon drum. I don't know if I want to get that into that thermolytic composting stuff. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that, bud. Oh, goodness gracious, guys. Goodness gracious. It is, God, it's 9:36 already. Jesus, criminy. Down in Kentucky, there were a lot of outhouses. And you know, it's really funny you mentioned Kentucky. Um, my ex-wife's dad was born in Kentucky, and he was a Hendrick, and little place called London, Kentucky. Well, it's actually outside of London, um, west of London, up on up on one of the well, it's in a holler when you get into the hills, and he was born. This is hilarious. His mother, Grandma Ida, was out getting eggs out of the hen house when she went into labor. And she started yelling for her husband. He came out there. She's like, "You need to get the doc. You need to get the doc." She's sitting right there amongst the nests, getting the eggs, got a basket full of eggs. She said, I think the baby's coming. And I heard this story 50 times from her before she passed away. By the time the doctor got there, my ex-father-in-law had been born in a chicken nest in the chicken house down in this holler in Kentucky. I remember when my ex-wife had my boys, we were rushing around to get to the hospital. And once again, he's trying to make everybody laugh and not stress out. And he's like, "Just go out here in the weeds and have the kid rat in the grass." Worked for me. I turned out fine. My place in Kentucky still has outhouse. Only the people with money ran their sewage to the creek. Yep, you're right. Most of them did it the old way. They'd dig a hole and let her get about half full or so, and then they'd push the outhouse out of the way, fill the hole back in, dig a new hole, and start all over. Couldn't figure out why they had this beautiful, lush green grass in these big circles all over their yard, and it wasn't near as green in the other areas. My stepdad was born in London. Oh, really? Yep, they were just a little bit outside of London, west, and there's there's a little town up in the hills out there, and the town has been around forever. I mean, it's been around since late 1700s, early 1800s, and it was just mostly a family that that lived there. Pretty much everybody in town had the same last name. So when the young teenagers, be it a boy or a girl, started looking for a suitable partner to spend life with, it was either date your cousin or um, find somebody else and introduce them to the town. And that's how my ex-father-in-law met my ex-mother-in-law. They went to school together, and he introduced her to the town. Oh my goodness gracious sakes. Like I said earlier, I hope for those of you that do have a significant other, be it a wife, be it a girlfriend, be it your best friend that just love hanging around with, I hope y'all got some good plans for tomorrow. Make them dinner. Spoil them. Make them a cheeseburger. Make them a chili dog. It don't matter. Take the reins. Take that skillet out of their hands and say, you sit down and you listen to your music. Or you sit down, you read your book. Uh, when my dad come to this country as a child, lived in Pennsylvania for a short time, then lived in Harlan, Kentucky. He graduated from Corbin High School and went to Knoxville, Tennessee. Was his name Raylan? Are you talking to Jan or me, Tony? Bartucci. That's a nice, strong Italian name. Bartucci. Or Bartucci, whatever. I think it could be pronounced either way. But this video that I've been working on for the last couple of days, um, it was another one of those find by accident things. Um, like I was looking for something totally different, and I ran across this, and I started doing a little bit of research into it, and it's like, holy crap! Do you seriously mean that that probably the most popular TV show that's ever been on TV come out of Hollywood based on a set of books is actually based in true history? I got to check into this. And I was blown away. So I started making my own very dramatic mini show about the show. in 8 seasons, over 1 billion people were getting a history lesson they didn't realize they were getting. And I'm not going to leak any more details about it. I'm going to make you all wait for it. So if you wanted the American way or Italian pronunciation, it was a justified reference. Templar He, I believe, around Philadelphia, 35 miles northwest of Philly in Amish country. Very cool. I love the Amish, but that's just me. I've had some very, very good Amish friends. Um, for those of you that have been with me for the longest, I've talked several times about Freeman Miller, the Amishman that was killed a few years ago riding his bicycle home from work. Um, Piece of farm equipment was coming this way. A truck was coming this way behind Freeman, and um, he was just passing Freeman and tried to move over and thought he was past him enough to let this combine go by and clip the front of his bike with his bumper. And he was uh, he was probably one of the best gun makers and coppersmiths that I'd ever seen. He only made like 8 guns uh, during his life as a craftsman, and you can't get a piece of his copper work. You cannot touch one of his guns. Nobody's getting rid of his stuff. He started doing reenactments and primitive encampments and stuff. And I mean, he became like the premier. I mean, when you want a custom gun with brass inlay or ribbon work or something like that done on it, you went and got a Miller gun, or at least tried to get a Miller gun. He had, I think, 8 or 9 guns still on order that he had just started hand carving the stocks and stuff on them when sitting out in his barn at his house when he was killed. And yeah, it's a great loss. Very cool. Never spoke of the Amish, so I'm guessing he never went. Of going to Amish country here. Best built items and their baked goods. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot to be learned from the Amish. Bought my rocking chair and Jay's recliner from the Amish. Yeah, I've actually got a little brass shot glass put up. I believe it's in the jewelry box in the bedroom, but Freeman made it several years ago, and I picked it up at what we call a round robin. Um, but it's it's probably a 6 or 7 ounce shot glass, and beautiful tin lining, um, just the shiniest copper you ever seen. Was coming home one day, found a boy and girl and buggy whose horse had died. The boy was bringing his date back home. That was like one of us totaling our dad's car. Oh my God, yeah. A horse to the Amish. My God. You might as well wreck Daddy's Mercedes in the regular world. Um, That's a major, major loss. Talked to Drew on the phone on my way back with the chairs. Yeah, you did. That would be cool, Tony. I've got to hang out for a few hours in the Amish community whenever me and my buddy John, who's also passed, would would go and get Freeman or bring him home from an event. Of course, he had the big trailer with his tent and all of his tools and stuff in it, but no way to pull it. And we'd always go and pick up his trailer, take it to an event a couple days early, and then the next day we'd grab all of our stuff, trailers and everything, and go to an event. And I've spent many, many times um, eating apple pie at the table with his wife and daughters, walking around the farm, playing with the horses, um, meeting his friends. This whole story about the Amish not liking English, maybe they don't completely like our lives the way they are, and maybe they think, in their own beliefs that we're damned to live in hell for not living a pure life. But they don't hate us. They don't hate us. Some of those guys are friendlier could be. Some of them, yeah, they probably don't like us all that much, or don't like our lives. I remember sitting down. I was sitting in, matter of fact, Watervliet, Michigan. We used to do a thing in the park encampment up at Watervliet years ago, and I was sitting there with Freeman and his daughter Claire, and we were sitting there chatting, and I think she was like 2 years younger than I was, or something like that. And we were chatting. Everybody was sitting around the fire talking. Her and I were chatting. He looked over at me and he nudged me. He says, "Well," he goes, "I'll tell you right now, young buck. I think you and Claire would make a nice couple." I'm just talking to her. I'm not trying to, like flirt or nothing. He says, "I still think, I think you'd make a good, I think you'd make a good son-in-law." He says, "But I'm going to have to strip you first." "You're what?" He says, "Yep, you can't be in our community with all them tattoos on you. Because I'm going to have to put you through a stripper first and take off the first few layers of skin." He says, "You can't be with us with all that, with all those tattoos on your body. Can't do it." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Wait, what? Huh? I thought you meant strip me, strip me." The next chicken coop I get will be Amish made. I'll go out and buy it. It'll be delivered. Yeah, and the one thing about going out and having the Amish, whether they build a garage, they build a chicken coop, they build a shed, they build a porch on your house, it's going to last. It's going to last. But yeah, the whole running gag with Freeman and me and Claire was the fact that he kept saying, "I got to get this girl married off, man. I got to get her married off. She's 25 years old, still living at home with her mama. I got to get this girl married off." "Not to me, you don't. Not to me, you don't." Of course, he was joking because he liked having his little girl at home, but A Man Called Horse. Good movie. Our barn is Amish made. And the really cool thing about them is they stand behind their work. When they build something, you know it's going to last. They don't like the English judgments. Oh. Hey Tony, I think there's a glitch. Had a tragedy out here in Lancaster County. Someone went into Amish schoolhouse, started shooting, 6 dead, including a perp, 5 injured. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that, Templar. That was a while ago. I remember that happening. Family on mom's side is Amish out of Goshen. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, when we done gathering at Five Metals down there in Goshen, we had a lot of Amish that would come through the encampment, and check out the camps, check out the ironware, the fire sets and stuff like that. And believe it or not, they were some of the best shoppers because the stuff that we used during a hobby are things they used on a daily basis. So they found good ironware, they found fire sets, they found whatever the case may be, a new hat that they really liked. They'd snag that stuff up. And there it went again. I did not post twice. I did not post twice for a third time. They like even less now. Government wants them to put blinking lights on their buggies. Go figure. Go figure. I mean, it was bad enough when they had to start carrying around car batteries and stuff in the buggies just to run their regular red lights and stuff, and their headlights. But now they want more and more out of them. They want them to quit selling. I was watching a video a couple months ago about an Amishman out in Pennsylvania, I think, that they were closing down his butcher shop. He had like a little store deal out there. He was selling all kinds of things, not just to the Amish community, but to the English that came in and wanted the stuff too. And they shut him down. They shut him down. They said he didn't process his stuff the way it was supposed to be processed, and by FDA standards and stuff like that. It's like, how can you? They're a sovereign group, bud. They have their own laws. They have their own beliefs. How can the government just go in there and tell them that they have to stop doing something they've done for 100 years? You've left them alone up until now, but now the rest of the country is in trouble, and prices are going up. So people are going to the Amish community to buy things, and you're shutting them down so you can force people to keep going to these other stores and buy this vitamin-packed poison shit that you're making them put in their bodies. It's all about control. You got it, Freedom. Good morning, dear. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. My dad had Amish on his side. They lived in Strasburg, Lancaster County. Land prices for the farms are worth millions now. Mm-hmm. Well, guys and gals, it is that time. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. Um, right now, planning to be on tonight. Looks like it's going to be beautiful weather, so I can't use weather as an excuse for if I'm not. Don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have fun. So, you guys all have a good day and try to have a little bit of fun. Don't work too awful hard. But until tonight, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. Come hell or high water. God willing and the creek don't rise. We'll see y'all tonight. You guys have a good day.